Welcome back to my channel, Valuable Rare Coins. If you love discovering hidden treasures in your pocket change, you're in the right place. First, we'll uncover some of the most valuable and rare US coins that could be worth a fortune. Let's dive in. We're about to dive into the history and potential value of a particular coin, the 1961 D United States 1-cent coin. You might think of this coin as just another penny, but hold on, because there's more to this little piece of American history than meets the eye. Stick with me to the end, where I'll reveal just how much this humble coin could be worth today. Let's start with a bit of background. The 1961 D1-cent coin is part of the Lincoln Cent series, a series that has been a staple of American currency since 1909. The coin features the likeness of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, on the obverse side, and the reverse shows the famous wheat ears design, one of the most iconic designs in U.S. coinage history, IN 1961. The U.S. Mint produced a large number of pennies, and as you'd expect, these coins were widely circulated throughout the country. The D Mint mark means this particular penny was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the main mints responsible for producing coins for circulation. Now, what makes the 1961 D1-cent coin stand out from the crowd? Well, let's talk about its rarity and condition, because that's where things start to get really interesting. Like most coins that were produced in large numbers, the 1961 D penny was used in everyday transactions. It's safe to say that most of these coins were worn down over time. Scratches, discoloration, and general wear and tear from circulation are common. But here's where things get exciting. There are a few key factors that could make this coin worth a small fortune. The condition of the coin is the most important factor when it comes to its value. Coins that have been carefully preserved and remain in uncirculated or mint condition are significantly more valuable than those that have been used in circulation. A 1961 D1-cent coin in perfect condition, free from any scratches, wear marks, or discoloration, can command a much higher price. In fact, finding a penny in this kind of pristine condition is rare, making it a highly sought-after item for collectors. But the 1961 D penny isn't just valuable because of its condition. There are also some error coins from this year that are worth paying attention to. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, leading to a coin that has unique characteristics, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or missing details. These types of error coins are extremely rare and highly desirable for collectors. If you happen to own a 1961 D penny with any kind of minting error, you could have a coin that is worth significantly more than the typical penny. For example, a double die error, where the coin has two impressions of the design, can make a coin much more valuable. Coins with this error tend to attract premium prices at auctions, as they are considered unique, one-of-a-kind pieces in the world of coin collecting. The 1961 D penny is no exception. If you find one with a minting error, you could be holding a coin that could skyrocket in value. Now, what's the big question? How much could the 1961 D1-cent coin really be worth? While most of these pennies are still only worth their face value, if you happen to have an uncirculated 1961 D penny or one with a minting error, it could fetch a significantly higher price on the market. Depending on its condition and any potential minting errors, the value of this coin could reach impressive heights. If you've got a 1961 D penny in near mint or mint condition, you could see it valued at upwards of $200,000. That's right, a penny, a coin worth just 1 cent in everyday use, could be worth as much as $200,000 if it's in the right condition or has the right kind of error. That's the magic of rare coins. What might seem like a simple, everyday item could, in the right circumstances, be worth a small fortune. So, next time you're going through your change or sifting through your coin collection, make sure to keep an eye out for the 1961 D1-cent coin. If it's in exceptional condition or features a rare minting error, you could have a treasure on your hands. This coin is a perfect example of how something small can have an incredibly high value in the world of coin collecting. Second rare coin, we're diving deep into the world of rare and valuable coins, and we've got a truly fascinating one to explore, the United States 1-cent coin from 1966. Now, you might be thinking, isn't that just another penny? But trust me, this coin is far more than meets the eye. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just getting started, you're going to want to stick around until the end of this video as we uncover the potential worth of this humble penny, and let me tell you, it's more than you might imagine. The 1966 1-cent coin is a part of the Lincoln Cent series, which, as you probably know, has been a part of U.S. currency for over a century. The Lincoln Cent, with its iconic design featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, has become a symbol of American heritage. On the reverse side, you'll find the classic design of wheat ears, which was used on pennies from 1909 all the way to 1958. But the 1966 penny is a little different, as it marked the final years of the wheat design, transitioning to the Lincoln Memorial design that would become standard from 1959 onward. In 1966, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, as these coins were circulated widely in everyday transactions. The 1966 penny was made at the Philadelphia Mint, with the D mint mark for the Denver Mint appearing on some versions. The majority of these coins, unfortunately, were used, worn down, and damaged by the time they left circulation. This makes finding a 1966 penny in pristine, uncirculated condition quite rare, and that's where things get interesting. What makes the 1966 penny stand out in the world of coin collecting isn't just its design, but its rarity and mint condition. As with all coins, the condition plays a major role in determining its value. Coins that are in excellent condition, uncirculated or close to it, hold significantly higher value than those that have been used for decades in daily transactions. This is especially true for coins like the 1966 1-cent, where the condition can make a huge difference in price. What makes the 1966 1-cent coin such an attractive piece for collectors? Well, there are a few key factors. First, the 1966 penny is one of those coins that often shows up with a variety of errors, and minting mistakes can make a coin worth a lot more. Imagine stumbling upon a double die error, where the design appears twice on the coin due to a minting defect. Or perhaps you find an off-center strike or other issues that make the coin unique. These types of errors are highly sought after by collectors because they add an extra layer of rarity and value to the coin. 1966 pennies without any errors, but in perfect mint condition, are also highly valuable. This is because, while many were produced, the coins that survived without being worn, scratched, or damaged are now quite rare. Collectors appreciate finding a coin in near-perfect state, and a 1966 penny in such a condition can fetch a high price at auction or through private sales. Now, let's get down to the burning question. How much could the 1966 1-cent coin be worth? The price can vary depending on the condition and whether there are any minting errors present. For a 1966 penny that's in mint condition, collectors may pay a substantial amount. But if you happen to come across a 1966 penny that's been kept in pristine shape, or even better, one with a rare minting error, you might be looking at a coin worth $165,000. That's right, $165,000 for a penny. Who would have thought that such a small, unassuming coin could hold such immense value? This is the exciting world of numismatics, where the right coin, in the right condition, can turn a simple collection into a fortune. If you have a 1966 penny stashed away in your coin jar or collection, it's time to take a closer look. You never know, you might be holding onto a hidden treasure worth a small fortune. Whether it's the rarity of a mint-condition penny or a unique minting error, this coin could be your ticket to a valuable find. Third expensive coin, we're diving into a rare treasure from the United States Mint, the 1971 D1-cent coin. While this little penny may seem unremarkable to the casual observer, it actually holds a fascinating story and, in certain conditions, can be worth a small fortune. If you're a coin collector or just interested in learning more about valuable pieces of history, this video is for you. Stick around as we uncover the potential of the 1971 D penny and how much it could be worth in today's market. Let's start by taking a quick look at the history behind this coin. The 1971 D penny is part of the iconic Lincoln cent series, which has been in circulation since 1909. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, has been featured on the front of the penny since its debut. However, what makes the 1971 D stand out isn't just Lincoln's recognizable profile on the obverse, but rather its minting process and potential for rarity. This coin was struck in Denver in 1971, indicated by the D mint mark. Like many of the pennies minted in the early 70s, the 1971 D had a relatively large production run. However, what sets it apart in the world of coin collecting is the fact that most of these coins were heavily circulated, leaving only a few in near-perfect or uncirculated condition. This means that the 1971 D penny, though once a common coin, has become increasingly scarce in pristine form, but what truly piques the interest of collectors is the error coins that occasionally pop up. Minting errors have a significant impact on a coin's value, and the 1971 D penny is no exception. These errors are typically caused by issues during the minting process, whether it's a misalignment of the die, double strikes, or an imperfect blank coin. Double die errors are among the most sought-after mistakes for collectors. A double die error occurs when the coin is struck multiple times, creating a noticeable doubling of the design, most commonly on the word Liberty or the date itself. Finding a double die 1971 D penny in good condition is rare. And if you do happen to have one, you could be sitting on a valuable piece of American history. Other common errors on the 1971 D penny include off-center strikes and die cracks, which also add value depending on their severity and the coin's overall condition. Another important factor that contributes to the coin's value is its condition. When a coin is first minted, it's often shiny and flawless. However, as it gets circulated, it can develop scratches, dents, and discoloration. A 1971 D penny in excellent condition, free from any significant wear and tear, will naturally fetch a much higher price than one that's seen heavy use over the years. For collectors, the grade of the coin is everything. A mint state or proof coin is highly valued, while one that's heavily worn will be worth much less. Now, you might be wondering, just how much could a 1971 D penny be worth? While most of these pennies aren't worth much more than their face value, just 1 cent, those in mint condition, or with rare minting errors, can fetch much higher prices. In fact, a well-preserved 1971 D penny in mint condition, or one with an error such as a double die, could be worth an astonishing $105,000. That's right, $105,000 for a single penny, all because of its rarity, condition, and unique characteristics. This just goes to show how valuable old coins can be, even if they're something as simple as a 1971 D penny. If you've come across one of these pennies in your collection or happen to find one in your spare change, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. You could have a hidden gem worth far more than its face value. Before you go, remember that not all 1971 D pennies are created equal. While the typical 1-cent coin may only be worth a few cents, those in exceptional condition or with a minting error can fetch impressive sums. Always keep an eye out for those special features that can elevate the coin's value in the eyes of collectors. Especially, we're diving into the 1975 1-cent coin from the United States. You might be thinking, it's just a penny, but wait until you hear the details that could make it worth more than you'd ever expect. Let's start with a little bit of history. The 1975 penny is part of the famous Lincoln cent series that has been a staple of American currency since 1909. What's interesting about the 1975 penny is that it was minted during a period of change and economic shifts in the United States. The country was in the midst of economic adjustments, facing inflation and transitioning to a new era after the post-Vietnam War period. If we look at the design, the 1975 penny features the iconic Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. You'll find his well-known portrait, which has been the face of the penny since its introduction over a century ago. However, it's not just the design that makes this coin special. It's the specific characteristics of this particular year that attract collectors. One key factor that makes the 1975 penny stand out is the widespread circulation it experienced. Because this coin was mass-produced and used heavily, it's relatively common to find these pennies, but that doesn't mean they're all created equal. Most of these coins have seen a lot of wear over the years, which means they're not in pristine condition. However, if you happen to find one in near mint or uncirculated condition, it becomes much more valuable. Now, let's talk about the mint marks and their significance. The 1975 penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The mint mark, which is a small letter located below the date on the coin, tells us where it was produced. The 1975 D penny was minted in Denver, while the 1975 S penny was produced in San Francisco, often intended for collectors. The 1975 P penny, minted in Philadelphia, is a standard circulation coin and is the one that you're most likely to encounter. However, don't be fooled. While this coin is more commonly found, certain variations or specific conditions can make it extremely valuable. Another crucial point for collectors is error coins. This is where things get really interesting. Minting errors can drastically affect a coin's value. In the case of the 1975 penny, some of the more significant errors include double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks. A double die error, in particular, occurs when the coin is struck more than once during the minting process, causing some of the design elements, like Liberty or In God We Trust, to appear doubled. This type of error is highly coveted by collectors, as it makes the coin unique and rare. Aside from errors, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. A coin that has been circulated and has noticeable wear will have a significantly lower value than one that has been preserved in excellent condition. A mint state coin or a proof coin, which was specially made for collectors, can fetch much higher prices in the marketplace. These coins, especially if they've been kept in original packaging or carefully stored, are much rarer to find and will likely see their value increase over time. So, just how much could a 1975 penny be worth? Well, while most of these coins aren't worth more than their face value, things get interesting when you start talking about rare, uncirculated versions or coins with errors. A perfectly preserved 1975 penny, or one with a rare minting error, could be worth a staggering $90,000. That's right, $90,000 for a single penny, just because of its unique characteristics and pristine condition. Imagine the excitement of finding one of these hidden treasures in your collection or even in your spare change. It just goes to show that coins can hold significant value, even when they seem so simple and common at first glance. If you come across a 1975 penny, take a moment to check it carefully. It could be the start of an incredible collection or the key to a valuable find. Next coin, we're exploring the world of United States 1-cent coins, specifically the 1981 D penny. You might be wondering, what makes this penny special? After all, it seems like just another common coin. But trust me, once you hear about the value and history behind this particular penny, you'll be amazed at just how much it could be worth. Let's kick things off with a little bit of background about the 1981 D penny. The D mint mark on the coin indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint, which has been minting U.S. coins since its establishment in 1906. This particular penny was part of a larger series of Lincoln cents that have been in circulation for over a century. While the design has remained consistent over the years, the 1981 penny stands out for several reasons. The time of its production, the U.S. economy was experiencing a time of high inflation and shifting monetary policies. The penny, however, continued its role in everyday transactions, making its way into the pockets of millions of Americans. But what makes the 1981 D penny so interesting? Well, as with many coins, the value of this penny is determined by its condition, rarity, and unique features. One of the first things to consider when assessing the value of a 1981 penny is its circulation. Most of the pennies from this year were produced in massive quantities and were circulated extensively, so they are fairly common to find. However, the real value comes when you find a well-preserved coin, one that has minimal wear and retains its sharp features. Coins that are in mint condition, meaning they've been stored carefully and have avoided the usual scrapes and marks from circulation, are highly desirable among collectors. But it's not just the condition that can drive the price of a 1981 D penny up. There are also error coins to consider. Error coins are always a collector's dream because they are unique and often difficult to find. When a coin is struck incorrectly during the minting process, it can result in a range of issues. For the 1981 D penny, some notable error types include double die varieties, where part of the design is doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process, and off-center strikes, where the design is imprinted off-center on the coin. These types of errors can make a relatively common coin, like the 1981 penny, incredibly valuable. Coins with double die errors can be worth thousands of dollars, and those with other rare minting mistakes are often highly sought after in the collector's market. If you happen to have a 1981 D penny with one of these errors, then you could be holding a true treasure. Speaking of rarity, it's important to note that certain low mintage coins tend to increase in value over time. The 1981 D penny was produced in large numbers, but some years experience slight variations in mintage, which can have a significant effect on a coin's worth. If a certain 1981 D penny was part of a smaller batch, or if it's one of the final coins struck before the mint shifted to producing other denominations, it could be worth far more than you'd expect. Now, let's get to the exciting part: the value of the 1981 D penny. While most of these pennies are worth only their face value of 1 cent, a well-preserved example, especially one in uncirculated condition or with a rare minting error, can fetch a much higher price. A 1981 D penny with no visible wear and tear, or one that features an error, could be worth up to $70,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $70,000 for a 1981 D penny. While this might seem unbelievable, it's the rarity of certain conditions, mint errors, and the overall interest in coin collecting that makes this penny worth such a hefty sum. It's a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected coins can hold immense value, and all it takes is a keen eye and some patience to discover that treasure hidden in your collection. If you happen to have a 1981 D penny, take the time to carefully inspect it. Look for any signs of wear, any unique features, or potential errors that might increase its worth. It could be tucked away in your change jar or a drawer in your house, and with the right condition, it could turn into a small fortune. Last unique coin, we're diving into a coin that may seem simple at first glance, but holds incredible potential for those with a keen eye. That coin is the United States 1-cent coin from 1984. Now, you might be thinking, a penny from 1984? Surely, it's not worth much. Well, you might be in for a surprise, because some of these pennies are worth a small fortune. Stick around, because in this video, we're going to explore the history, design, and most importantly, the value of the 1984 penny, and just how much it could be worth if you find one in the right condition. Let's start by taking a quick look at the history behind the 1984 1-cent coin. By 1984, the design of the U.S. penny had already been established for several decades. The obverse of the coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, who has graced the penny since 1909. The reverse side shows the Lincoln Memorial, which was used on the penny from 1959 until 2008. This design has become an enduring symbol of American history and remains an important part of the U.S. currency system. The 1984 penny was struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, as usual, with a production of over 7 billion coins that year. It's a common coin in circulation, so if you have a typical, worn-out 1984 penny in your pocket, it's not going to be worth much. But here's where things get interesting. While most 1984 pennies are very much like the ones you see on the streets today, there are rare exceptions that can fetch a price much higher than their face value. Now, why would a 1984 penny be worth anything beyond 1 cent? As with most rare coins, condition and rarity are key factors. Over time, Pennies are worn down, chipped, and damaged as they pass through countless hands, making it increasingly difficult to find one that is in mint condition. A 1984 penny that has been kept in pristine condition without any signs of wear or tarnish can be quite valuable to collectors. Another factor that contributes to the value of certain 1984 pennies are minting errors. As with other years, the U.S. Mint occasionally produces coins with errors during the production process. These mistakes can happen in many ways. Coins can be struck off-center, have double strikes, or feature other anomalies that make them unique. If you happen to come across a 1984 penny with an error, it could dramatically increase the coin's value. Error coins are especially prized in the world of numismatics because they're rare, interesting, and carry a story of their own. One of the most sought-after errors in 1984 pennies is the double die obverse error. This occurs when the die used to stamp the image onto the coin shifts slightly, creating a visible double impression of the design. The most common place to see this error is on Abraham Lincoln's eyes and his nose. If you come across a 1984 penny with such an error, hold on to it. It could be worth much more than its face value. Another potential 1984 penny error is the off-center strike. In this case, the coin has been struck incorrectly, causing the design to appear misaligned on the coin. These off-center coins are quite striking in their appearance and highly collectible. Finding a 1984 penny with this type of minting mistake could be a valuable discovery, but here's the thing: the true value of a 1984 penny is determined by both its condition and whether it possesses one of these unique errors. So, while most 1984 pennies might be worth only their face value of 1 cent, a well-preserved example or one with a minting error could fetch a substantial price. In fact, if you've got a 1984 penny in perfect condition or one with a rare error, it could be worth as much as $40,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $40,000 for a single 1984 penny. That's the kind of value these rare finds can hold. Of course, most pennies won't be worth that much, but when you find a special one, whether it's in pristine condition or features a rare error, your search could turn into a treasure hunt with a massive payoff. So, what should you do if you find a 1984 penny? The first thing is to carefully inspect the coin. Look at the obverse and reverse closely to see if there are any noticeable minting errors or signs of wear. If the penny looks brand new, it could very well be worth more than just 1 cent. Be sure to check for double die errors, off-center strikes, or any other unique characteristics that could add to its value. If you believe you've found a 1984 penny with one of these rare features, it's always a good idea to have it evaluated by a professional coin appraiser or a reputable numismatic dealer. They can help you determine its true value and guide you on the best way to sell it or add it to your collection. Remember, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. What seems like an ordinary coin can sometimes turn out to be a hidden gem worth thousands. So next time you come across a 1984 penny, take a moment to inspect it closely. You never know what you might have stumbled upon. It could be worth $40,000 in the right condition. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of 1984 pennies, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on more coin discoveries. Who knows what treasures await in your change jar or at your local coin shop? Until next time, happy collecting!